Yo, welcome back to Hype Npire. I'm your boy Envy.
And I'm your boy Oscar.
And last but not least, I'm your boy Jay.
All right, guys. Today we had a special request from Maritza. Shout out to Maritza on this topic. She wants to know our views on feminism. So we're gonna start off. She had a couple of questions for us. I'm gonna read them off and then we'll all answer. Okay.
Yeah, you're just gonna read the first one, then we'll answer, and then the second,
Yeah.
so on and so forth.
All right. So the first question is, what can men do to bring awareness to the feminism movement?
Jay, you want to take off with this one? Go ahead.
Yeah, I got this. All right. As hard as this is for me to admit, I think the first thing is going to be that us men have to acknowledge it. It's out there. We just have to acknowledge that there is a preference in men over women in the workforce.
I'm gonna tell you like this: women outnumber men. I think women don't support women enough. I'll give you a huge example. Whether girls want to admit it or not, name 2 football female teams. Name 2 basketball female teams. Men empower men. We love watching football. We love basketball. I can name tons of football, basketball teams. We empower men, and we don't have the numbers. Women outnumber us. So if you empowered each other, if you would support each other, we wouldn't be having this conversation. That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, I agree with that. A lot of women, I don't know, for some reason, either they have some type of animosity for, I don't know, maybe it was just the way they were raised or whatever. But and I think that's the problem. You know what I mean? How everybody was raised, because it's always like this is how it happened in the old days, and now this is, we're more progressive now, right? But my answer is going to be to vote. You gotta vote for representatives, to support your movement, and men gotta, go along with it. And I know a lot of men might not want to vote for that, you know what I mean, for the simple fact that they're probably still, misogynistic or whatever. But the ones that are, I don't know, I want to say woke, right? We got to vote for equality and all that stuff. Our second question is, what are some of the internal misogyny traits that I guess men, are trying to work through?
Well, when my daughter was born, about a few months before we found out we were pregnant with my daughter, we had just lost a son. And so when my daughter was born, the doctor was trying to, I guess, help her breathe. And as soon as I heard the first cry, I wanted to cry, but I couldn't, because it's a man thing not to cry. So I didn't. But I guess that's a reason why I could have cried of happiness, but I didn't. And I should have.
I think it's a borderline like that. And I think any man would understand if you started crying. If any man walked in and they saw you crying, they're gonna be like, yo, congratulations. That's all it is. You know what I mean? No man's gonna sit there and tell you. But if you're crying all the time, I think as a man, I think that's a trait. Like as a man, you're gonna think like, yo, you cry too much.
Yeah.
And I think that would be more I think the baby thing, that's really understandable. I think there's certain things where you would cry and no one's ever gonna tell you like, yo, you shouldn't be crying.
Right.
And I think like that life is beautiful. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I wish I could cry. It's just genes. Like, I don't know. I'm just not a crier. But
So do you hold yourself back from crying, or it just doesn't happen for you? Like you don't get a lump in your throat ever?
yeah, every now and then I will. But it's nothing where if I was gonna cry, it's kind of like the lump in my throat. It just happens. And if I was gonna cry, it freaking happen. Like I don't have control. I think your body will eventually just let it all out. You know what I mean?
I think in general, I think men is I think that's one of the traits that that we got to be the tough guy, that men shouldn't cry. So when you tell your kids, hey, hey, don't cry. I honestly, I tell my daughter the same thing. I was like, hey, don't cry. It's like, that's nothing to cry about. You know what I mean? So I try to make them both tough. You know what I'm saying? But um, I try not to baby one, than the other. But yeah, I think that's one misogynistic trait that I think men are trying to work through. Let's see. The next question: what are some steps that can lead to closing the wage gap?
I think when it comes to the wage gap, I think it has to start off at the top, of course. And I think everybody needs to be given the same opportunities. So, what I would do if I was a boss, I would share knowledge with all my employees, not just guys or girl or the ones I'm really cool with. I'd want my whole team to be really good.
I think going back to women, women are strong, beautiful. I honestly don't see why you couldn't be a boss. There wouldn't be no wage, there wouldn't be no number. You would be the boss. You decide how much money you make. And I think women, I'm going to go back to it. I think women don't empower women enough. I think if you want to do that, you become a boss, you hire women and take it from there. And I'm saying if they're qualified. If I was going to hire somebody, I don't care what skin color you are, if you're male or female, what sex you are, I don't care. If you're qualified, if you're gonna make me better in my company, yo, I want you on my team. And now if it just so happens all my team is girls, and I'm sitting back and thinking, you know what, I haven't hired a guy. Let me hire a less qualified guy just to put a guy on my team. No, I want nothing but what's gonna make me grow and what's gonna make them grow. That's all I care about. And I think if women are if you're using that as a crutch, and I'm not saying you are, but if you're using it as a crutch, I'm a woman, so give me a chance, even though the guy next to me is more qualified, then no. Same thing with a guy. If you're saying all you have is women around you, like working for you, and you're thinking that just because, hey, hire me, I'm a guy, and the next woman is more qualified, then no, I'm gonna hire a woman. I don't care. You know what I mean? I don't care what sex or race you are. If you're more qualified, I'm gonna hire you. I don't know if it's more like that all around, but if women feel like that, become a boss. Hire all the women you want. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that's a good point. Um, I'll go back to it, guys. To my first answer is vote again. I mean, it has a lot to do with who's representing you in Congress and Senate. You got to vote, and just to take it a step further, um, when you guys when you guys say like women don't empower women, right? Um, they during this election, I want to say, I'm not sure if this is correct. I'm gonna have to fact check this later on, or you guys can fact check me. Um, I think it was 59% of women voted for Trump. And I know everybody says fake news or whatever, but it's out there in the news. They call him a sexist, or they say, what he was talking about, his locker room talk and all that stuff. Um, and women still voted for him. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't vote for the ticket that had a woman for vice president.
Or
So,
president.
or for president, 4 years ago. So yeah, I'm gonna take it back to voting and women supporting women. So let's go to the last question. Okay. How are we, I guess, men, right, introducing the idea of equality with their children? Let's take this
Well,
one.
I got it. I don't teach my or show my kids that there's women's work or men's work. I try to empower them to follow a passion, and passion doesn't have a sex. So I just teach them how to be strong minded, resilient, determined, and passionate, find what they really want to do. I don't want them to grow up in a world that they're not happy with. And for them to be unhappy with something that they really can't change, like their sex.
Hmm.
Yeah, me, well, I'm living it, people. And for all those of you that don't know, I'm a stay-at-home dad, so my boys know that my wife goes out and she works. She makes the most. Like we did what was best for the family. Again, you can go off of what society says or whatever. So technically, I should be the one working, but at the end of the day, I don't care. My wife doesn't care. We're cool with it. So I'd want to instill that in my boys. I want you to know that you always do what's best for your family. It wouldn't make no point if my wife was making more money than I was, and no, hey, I'm the guy, so you're gonna have to quit, because we needed somebody to quit because we needed someone to stay home with the kids, and especially now with COVID, like daycare isn't safe. Let's be realistic. So we needed, and this was pre-COVID. We needed somebody to stay home with the kids, and my wife made more money than me, like consistently. And overtime, I would make more money, but when overtime was gone, we'd be really struggling. So we both, and my wife doesn't have a problem. Like she's passionate about her job. So to me, like I said, I don't care about the sexist thing. I really don't. My wife makes a lot of money doing what she does. I know a lot of women that make tons of money that are really that they don't need a man. My sister being one of them. I can I've I guess my whole life I've been surrounded by women that are really empowering. Like they don't need a man. You know what I mean? For the financial reason, like you don't need a man, and they don't use it as a crutch. Like they support their kids. I'm just gonna do a little bit rambling real quick. My sister raised my nephews her whole life. Like my sister never had a man in her life, and she raised my kids. And she put them in sports. My nephews have played every single sports from hockey, baseball to I've never even seen a hockey ring, but my nephews have played it, like flag football. And you guys can attest, they're great. They're amazing athletes. And
They're great
my
kids too.
yeah, and they're really respectful. Like, and she did it all by herself. That's what I'm telling you. Like, you don't need a man. Women are like so beautiful, so strong that you guys give credit for. Like, you don't need a man. Like, you don't need us to like that in that aspect to support you, because you're strong enough. We can't give birth. We're a couple of pansies. You know what I mean? God made you women beautiful and strong. You all I'm saying is don't use stuff like that as a crutch. You can do it. That's all I do. What I have to say is you can do it.
For me, like I said earlier, I try to treat my kids fairly. You know, um, try to make them both tough. You know, but I don't. How can I say? I don't shun them away when they're trying to be sensitive either. You know what I mean? So I treat them equally, both like that. And then like the whole like I don't treat, I might joke around, and maybe that's a problem. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments. Um, I'll tell my wife, hey, go get in the kitchen and make me some food. You know what I mean? They know I'm playing, but like I honestly I like to cook, so I cook for the family. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm a better cook too than Angie. So I mean, the kids like my cooking more. But anyway, yeah. So we do that. My wife, like, she's a big woman power, and I support her. So um, anything she tells me, I always like I ask questions. Sometimes I ask questions to you know to kind of like debate her and to see what her answers, and that's just so she can give me information, and we share it with our kids. Sometimes I tell our kids, hey, come in and come in on our conversation. What do you guys think? You know what I mean? So I involve them in conversation. That's pretty much what we do. Um, so I have an extra question for you guys. I know we didn't like really prepare for this, but or not a question, but what you guys think, right? So my wife said, or I saw it on a documentary. Um, when you create a certain movement, right? For some reason, um, somebody else creates an opposition,
An anti-movement.
an anti-movement, right?
Yeah.
Like, why is that? You know what I mean? Like, so I know sometimes like men might feel attacked,
Hmm.
right? It's like, oh, feminists, like what women power? No, like men power, manpower. Men are better than women. like, but why? You know what I mean? I, and here's another kind of thing, like maybe you guys can shed some light on, or maybe your thoughts on this is like, why not just, they say women's right, why not call it human rights? And really, like, everybody, there's human rights, right? But why not include those women rights and the human rights, and then the men rights and the men rights? And what I say about men rights, because like there's an opposition about men, right? um Men get convicted more to the death penalty than women do. I don't know if you guys know that. And then not only that, but what about, like, for example, you're the stay-at-home dad, right? If anything, God forbid, anything happened to you and Natalie and you separate, who's gonna get the kids?
The wife.
That's the majority of the time. You know what I mean? And that's not even like, and I'm not saying not to bad mama or anything, right? But that happens to men regardless if the mom is capable of raising their kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
So
it's automatically appointed. Once
yeah.
you separate, it's gonna lean towards the woman gets them, and they don't
Well,
even know what happens in the household.
I'm just saying, why can't we all get along? You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think, yeah, I think that if you want to be about it, don't talk about it, be about it. That's my whole thing. If you want, I remember you had sent me a text, Oscar, about women's pay more for their products that they need, as far
Mhm.
as like their time of the month.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that women don't understand, and I think most women don't, is there are 10 companies that are run by CEOs that are run by women that most women don't want to, that don't most women don't even support, that most women don't won't even know about. I mean, you'll say that it's unfair that you pay for more for that. I didn't even know. It's not a guy thing, so of course we're not going to know. And that, to me, why don't you just support those women and get the men out of there? How are men going to understand what happens down there more than women? But yet men, the CEOs of that are men, that are those companies, you guys are willing to throw your money at them. Just look it up, be more educated about it, and search up those other companies, and honestly get the men out of there. That's all you have to do, is women back up women. One of those CEOs is actually trying to do it where you get free tampons in the restroom, because they say, why toilet paper free? Why shouldn't that be? Because you never know as a young woman when it's going to happen. And cool, and I agree with it. But here's the thing, I'm not a woman. Granted, if I had a daughter, but here's, women can empower women. Most women don't even know that. Most women don't even know that women are out there trying to do that, trying to what's called. But you're going to sit there and say, well, why is it more? You don't think other women have thought of that, and they're trying to do something? So don't talk about it, be about it. That's all I would say.
Yeah, I think it's when somebody gets when somebody gets, I guess, in the sense of feeling cornered, they feel like they have to attack back instead of listening. So instead of trying to embrace one another, we're all trying to defend ourselves. And at the same time, while we're defending ourselves, we're attacking each other. So if we were to just learn how to lift each other up and keep moving forward, we wouldn't be dealing with a lot of these groups and anti-groups fighting against each other, because instead of us fighting each other, we should be fighting together for better causes, things that really, really matter. These things to me aren't anything to be fighting with each other for. If we're all passionate towards the same goals and, trying to bring down things that really matter, there's homelessness, child abuse, all these things, and we're fighting for things that are, I don't want to step on anybody's toes here, but not as important as other causes, and we can all move forward instead of just fighting with each other all the time. I mean, I
And,
think it
and just to clarify real quick, you're not saying that the women's rights not important.
no,
You're
no,
just
no, no,
saying
no,
that
no. It's nothing to
we,
be fighting about.
it's
Hunger
not
is
to be
more
fighting
important
for.
than
Yeah.
Yeah.
something than that. Like,
Yeah.
And, like I've said before, one of the things I want to teach my daughter is to be resilient and understand that the worst place, the my biggest fear is somebody else's mind, because I don't know what's in there. And you're fighting with somebody and you don't even know what they're capable of. You don't even know what they're thinking. Sometimes they don't even know what they're thinking. So you're fighting with somebody who's not as, I guess, intelligent as you should be, and they're not listening. They're not listening. So I guess what I'm trying to say is more action, less talk.
And I agree with Jay. Like, if we just focus our energy like on cancer, especially like kids with cancer and stuff like that, and I mean, you compare that to women's rights. I mean, I think we would all agree that that's not a cause worth fighting for. You know what I mean? That
Well,
everybody can.
even the women's rights created a men's rights. So now you have two people fighting when, like you said, there's cancer out there.
Mm-hmm. Just to reiterate, guys, we're not saying that women's rights are not important, right? We're just saying that we just need to resolve those and start focusing on these other issues that that need a lot of attention. So men, hey, throw that ego out the window. It's like women are powerful. They're strong. They create miracles.
And I'm gonna tell you like this: I don't think it's men. I think women, once you understand how powerful you really are, you outnumber us. Once you understand that, I'm not saying the movement or whatever will be easy, but all I'm saying is you are more powerful than you think. You outnumber us. So if you
Strength in
supported each
numbers.
other, imagine the damage you guys would do. But you guys don't. You guys are so quick to knock each other. Like I'm gonna take it back to what I said about the football and the basketball thing. Like, you guys don't support each other, but and then at the same token, you guys will support guy teams. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying it because you don't like football. Obviously, most girls do. I see a lot of girls on Facebook that like football. You just don't support each other for whatever reason. I don't know what the reason is, but you girls just and guys, we support each other. You know what I mean?
Like the whole thing. Remember, just to bring up what you said, Eric. The women's soccer team compared to the male soccer team, right? The males get paid a lot more than the women do.
Women in basketball,
and no, but here's the thing. They've won championships. They've won World Cups. What have the men done? They just go out there and play. They make it to the World Cup. We're excited they made it to the World Cup. You know what I mean? And they get paid. But why? Because it's ratings. More people are watching the men. Why aren't they watching the women? I watch the women's soccer, man. It's freaking awesome to see the women dominate like that. The U.S. team, bro, it's freaking awesome.
and I'm gonna even say it like this: high school teams, how many in college teams? I mean, even high school, how many of you support women, like women basketball? I guarantee, like, I know men's basketball sells out more than women's basketball. You know what I mean? And they try their hardest to, even men, like they put it on the NBA, support the WNBA and all that.
I'm gonna be an advocate of the women, right? And I'm not sure, like I might be wrong, so guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, it's not saying that they're depending on us, right? It's they're saying that there's a certain amount of people that have the same mindset, right? And men or women, you know what I mean? Like I said, women voted for Trump, right? So it's like those women, it's kind of hard, like, to get them on board with women's rights, because not all women are for women's rights, but some men are, you know what I mean? So I guess that's what they're asking, you know what I mean? It's like they're not trying to depend on us, they're just trying, hey, how can we help? You see what I'm saying?
I guess on the men's side, we do have to acknowledge it. It does happen.
All right, and if you guys have any other topics that you want us to go over, we're more than happy. And also, if you guys want to be on our podcast, as you guys can see, we had Ruth on here. If you guys want to debate with us or talk with us on here, we're more than happy. We encourage you guys. If you guys want to have something to talk about, we'll talk about it. All right, hope you guys enjoyed the video.
All right, guys, go ahead and drop those comments. I know you guys have a lot to say, so hey, say whatever you need to say. Put it on there.
And guys, make sure you stay tuned and check out the next clip of our next video.
All right, today we're going to talk about why men and women can't be friends when you're in a relationship. You guys feel strong about that? You guys agree with that? Yo, welcome back to Hype Npire. I'm your boy Envy.
And I'm your boy Oscar.
And last but not least, I'm your boy Jay.
Wait, hold on. I'm not ready.
That's going in the bloopers.
Hey, we got to shout out Maritza for this one. Before you started,
That's the question, right?
I got it.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
At any point, if you agree with those guys, give us a like. Hit that like button.
Yeah.
Make sure you get that like comment or the like button. Edit that out. We should get it resolved so we can focus our attention on
Big rocks.
yeah. Da-da-da, da-da-da.
Didn't I say put your stuff on mute?
Hold on. Hey, that's the first time it ever happened to me. All right, hold on. Ready? Make sure you guys drop your comments on the comment box, whatever. I'll do that again, Eric. Sorry, my bad.
That's all you, man. Go ahead.